It's coffee time.
Good morning guys, and welcome to the old school April readathon. I have not really participated like full on in a readathon in a long time, mostly due to lack of time, and now I'm really excited. Also because obviously I love everything 80s and 90s horror, and it's also an excuse for me to read finally some of the books that have been sitting on my shelves for a while. But I'm also of course trying to get all the points that I can for my team, and that team is the Blue Barracudas, and I'm gonna try to do all the little challenges, all the little things in the list, as many of them as I can. As usual, Lilith has taken possession of my chair. There she is. And I'm just here to let you know that it is Monday. Mondays, you guys know the drill, is busy day for me. I've been working all day and I can finally sit down a little bit to read. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna discuss the first things I'm gonna read for the readathon. Lucky for me, during the weekend I did find a little bit of time to read, so I started with one of the books that was a bit chunkier, and that is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. I thought starting with a book that is a little bit chunkier would help me to jumpstart into the readathon, and honestly I'm nearly finished with this one because it is just so fast-paced and so easy to read, and I'm actually having such a good time. I did not expect it. I guess because after reading The Witchery and not having the best experience, I felt a little bit hesitant going into another YA witchy book, but I'm really enjoying this one. I'm already on page 218, and like I said, having a blast, so I feel like we should finish this one today. The story follows Hannah. She is a witch, and we live in a world where humans do not know of the existence of witches, and there have been witch hunters in the past, so witches need to keep their secret. And because they want to keep their secret, they're also not allowed to use magic in front of what they call regulars or red, which are basically humans, you know, muggles. So I really enjoy that part because there's always that mystery of having to hide your identity and all of that. In the book we will follow Hannah, our main character, that comes from a family of witches, and she is a teenager, so of course she has her own teenage problems, like dealing with her ex-girlfriend and the feelings that she may or may not have for her. And also there is something that comes to town, something that is threatening them, something that is starting to hurt people. So Hannah and the other witches are gonna have to try to figure out what kind of threat is this. Is it a blood witch? It is a witch hunter? What is it? And they're gonna have to figure it out quick so that they can stop it before anybody else gets hurt or killed. The book is really fast-paced, it's really easy to read, it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with the mystery, with the witches, with the story, but I will tell you that there is a lot also about, you know, family drama and relationship drama with ex-girlfriends, and, you know, problem with your parents, like all of those things that you can also expect from teenagers, which is something that you can see a lot of times in YA books. But that is not at all affecting my enjoyment of the book. I'm having a really good time and I cannot wait to finish it. And I think I'm gonna be picking up book 2. I wasn't sure, but I feel like I'm gonna do it because I'm just flying through this one and just enjoying it. And since Lilith has taken over my chair, there she is, no remorse, I'm gonna let her sleep and have her time there. And since the weather is good in the Netherlands, which is a shocker, I am shooketh. It is sunny outside, so I think I'm gonna go to the garden, sit down a little bit and enjoy a cold beverage and my books. I'm gonna try to start 2 more books today, just to get into the groove of things, you know. Probably I will finish only 1 today, but then I'll have 2 other ones going. So I think I'm gonna choose the Stepsister by L. Stein because it's a, you know, fun, quick, Fear Street book. So something that I'm just gonna have also fun with. Good day, guys. It is Tuesday, and as you can imagine, spoiler alert, it has been another busy day for me. I'm still currently working, but I'm taking a break because I'm waiting at the moment for furniture to be delivered. We needed a table to eat because my parents are coming over and we don't have like a proper eating table. So that's getting delivered right now in the next like 20 minutes. So I thought I would take a break from work and let you know what happened last night. So unfortunately I didn't get to read too much, but I did finish one book already for the readathon, which is These Witches Don't Burn. And as I was getting closer to the end, there were a couple of reveals and twists and turns, and I realized how much I enjoyed this book, a lot more than I anticipated. Honestly, there were a couple of things in the plot that I was able to foresee. I was able to know who was responsible for what. I'm just keeping it vague. But there was one reveal towards the end that caught me a little bit off guard, and I really enjoyed that one. And I feel like this book was such a good, solid witch story, because it doesn't only focus on the witches, the coven, and we get to know how it works in this world, how they're organized, their laws and things like that, which I thought was really interesting. And even though we got all that, which was great, we also got, you know, a lot of heart in the book. There is family, friendship, and love relationships that are explored here. Our main character is a teenager, so apart from having to deal with her parents, with her ex, she's also a witch, so there's a lot of things that are happening at once to her. You know, it's just something that teenagers have to go through. There's so much going on in their lives and so many changes, so many new things that they experience. So I felt like that was really well captured in the book. And like I said, when you get towards the end, there are so many action-packed scenes and surprises and reveals, and it was just a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun. So I am definitely gonna be picking up the sequel. Really excited for that one, and I can really recommend you guys this one. It is a great book about witches, but also has a lot of teenage angst and some drama and all of that. And there's a lot, you know, with the relationship between the girls and the ex-girlfriend and all of that. So there's a lot of that. If you don't like to read books with a lot of love relationships, maybe it's not for you, but I thought it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So it's a win for the first book that I read for the readathon. Hello guys, it's later in the day, so table was delivered. Really excited to finally have a living room with a table. I mean, normally we just eat at the little table. We have the TV, you know, the couch table. But since my parents are coming, you know, I would like to have nice breakfast and nice time. Maybe we can play cards. Also, if people come over, we've been living here for over a year now, which is mind-blowing to me. It just feels like yesterday I was living in my small apartment in Germany, and now I live in a house in the Netherlands. It's like, what's going on? But yeah, so I'm really excited that we finally can build the table, and we have really cool chairs that we got from a really good furniture store. We're trying to find things that we really want for the long run, since we now live in a house and we just want things to look nice. Renovations are going to start probably around August, September maybe, we don't know yet, but I'm really excited to finally renovate the bathrooms, because in this house the bathrooms have been untouched, I think, for the most part since the 80s. So you can imagine how they look like. Not nice. So yeah, but anyways, it is currently, hold on, 7:30 p.m. I finished with my regular job. I also had to do some YouTube stuff. So my days normally go from 7 to 7 for most of the time. Most days even longer, because I always have things to do for YouTube or other stuff, and now I can finally sit down and relax a little bit. So I thought that we could sit down and read, and I think I'm gonna read something a bit easy today, and I'm gonna grab The Stepsister by Stein, a Fear Street book. So I'm gonna start this one, and I also wanted to complete another challenge today, another prompt for Old School April, and there was one prompt that was to eat a marshmallow, which I thought it was really cute. Now in Spain we don't have these thing of, you know, eating marshmallows, roasting them over the fire. It's not something that we really do, or put them in our hot cocoa. Not something that we do, but I tried to find some marshmallows that I could eat that were vegan, and it was really hard for me to find. So I only found one type of marshmallow, and it's not the typical ones that you regularly eat, those fluffy square white ones. So let me show you. I was only able to find these twister kind of marshmallows, so these ones will have to do because it's the only ones that I could find. So I haven't had a marshmallow in such a long time. It's not something that I've always liked or enjoyed. I mean, they're fine. I think I would love them more on a hot cocoa. So maybe the rest of the package that I have, I will put them in some hot chocolate or even coffee. Why not? But this is proof now that I have completed the challenge, the prompt, and I can add one more point to the team. And now let's dive into the Stepsister. We are back from the gyms. I had a good session today. I was able to progressively overload, which basically means either to do more reps or more kilos. So slowly but surely, I'm getting back on track with my weightlifting, which makes me really happy. And I always feel so energetic after a workout, and that's what I like weightlifting. I feel like, yes, I'm exhausted because I have exhausted my muscles, but I have this rush of energy. And when I only do cardio, I just want to die. I'm just miserable. So definitely cardio is not for me. Weightlifting, you know, since I found it, it has saved me, because I do feel like sports in any sort of form, even just going for a long walk, is really beneficial. It's not just about your body, it's also about your mind. So when I came back home, I had another surprise waiting for me, a small reward for hitting my gym goals today. And that is a book that I ordered from eBay some time ago. The book that I got is Whatever Happened to Janie by Caroline B. Cooney, and this is the second book that follows The Face on the Milk Carton. I'm so excited because I was able to find this copy on eBay. It comes from the UK, but it is in quite good condition, and I really wanted this vintage edition and cover because the book has been re-released. I think both part 1 and part 2, but they are like these bigger paperbacks. The covers are not that nice. I like this one. I like the vintage cover, so I'm really happy that it came home. It's in quite good condition. It is a library copy, but it doesn't have any stickers anywhere. It just has on one of the pages here, it says Essex County Libraries. But that is all. It doesn't come with any weird stickers or markers or anything from the library, so I am so happy. And now I feel like I should read this. Maybe I can still squeeze it into the old school April, because this one also fits the prompts. So maybe I'll squeeze it in, because book 1 ends on a cliffhanger. Rude. So now that I have part 2, finally, I can just binge it. It is YA mystery thriller, so it is a quite enjoyable quick read. So I might just squeeze it in for the readathon. Let's talk about The Stepsister by Errol Stein, because I just finished reading these outside. It's starting to get colder now, so I came back inside. And I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed this one. it's been a really good Fear Street book. So the story follows basically two families that merge together. We have our main character, Emily, and her mom has remarried, and now she has a new stepsister moving in. She's called Jessica, and she's forced to share her room with Jessica. At the beginning, she's trying to keep kind of like an open mind, and you know, she thinks maybe she's not that bad, maybe we can make it work. Plus, she's excited to have a sister of her own age. And the thing is that from the very beginning, she gets a really weird feeling about Jessica. She feels like in front of her family, she appears to be this really good, warm person, but then in private, she seems really cold, distant, rude, and she starts to realize that Jessica might be trying to steal the spotlight, steal her life. She starts by stealing one of Emily's sweaters, things like that, and Emily starts to get at some point scared of Jessica and what she might be able to do to her. So throughout the book, you're kind of trying to figure out what's going on, because Emily blames Jessie for everything that's happening, and Jessie keeps saying that it wasn't her. So we're kind of trying to figure out who Jessie is, what happened in her past, could she be responsible for these things that are happening, and if it's not her, who could be? And it's kind of like a really cool mystery, as we know from, you know, from the Fear Street books. It's mostly a mystery that it gets solved like in the last 5 pages of the book. But I thought it was really entertaining, really enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm really happy that I read it. And I think today I'm gonna start a new book, and I think I'm gonna start a book that is relatively new compared to the other ones that I have on the TBR, and that is Hall of Mirrors by Charles Ashe. And I really want to get into this one because I feel like this is a really interesting one that I haven't really seen many people talking about. I actually saw, I think, an Instagram post from Cameron Chaney from Library Macabre talking about this book, and I decided to pick it up. And I feel like, you know, it's a good one to review for you guys a little bit because it's one that it's easy to access. Some of the older books that I'm gonna be reading for the Old School April, I know they are vintage books and not all of them might be available, but this one is available everywhere. So if you're interested in what the book is about, then you might want to pick it up for yourself. So I think this is the one that I'm gonna read next. This house is a zoo. I apologize for all the noises, cats playing with toys, birds. There's a lot going on here. All I'm missing is a goat, maybe some chickens, maybe a pig. Honestly, if I would have the money, I would live in a farm full of our animals, like rescue animals. If I had the money, I would totally do that. Good morning, guys. It is Friday, so the end of the week is approaching, and today I'm a little bit nervous because I just went to the vet to give them the baby boy. Because he needs to undergo a little bit of a surgery. You know, he's gonna get castrated today. It's only like a 5-minute surgery. It's very simple for boys, but you always worry as a mom, especially because they have to be put to sleep. They should call me in a couple of hours to let me know that I can go pick him up. So fingers crossed that everything goes well. But I also wanted to update you on my reading, and the good news is I have nearly finished another book, and that is perfect, and it is Hall of Mirrors. Now this book just came out actually last year, 2022, but it reads exactly like a point horror or a, you know, Fear Street book. So if you love those type of stories, this is perfect for you because, you know, maybe you've already read all of the Fear Street books, maybe you've read like all of the point horror books, but now you have this one. In this book, we follow Danny, and he's struggling with the loss of his twin brother, Thomas. Now it's time for Danny to return to school, and things are just not the same. On top of that, there is a carnival that comes to town, and he decides to visit the carnival to go to a fortune teller there. And he has the feeling that Thomas might want to send him a message. He feels like there is some unresolved business with Thomas and his death. So that's what we're dealing with here in this book. And like I said, if you love point horror, Fear Street books, this is going to be right up your alley. So you guys, we finished Hall of Mirrors and I enjoyed it. You need to imagine this as a queer YA story, very similar to R.L. Stine, Christopher Pike, and all of those 80s and 90s kind of horror books. I definitely recommend you if you love those type of books, you know, like point horror and stuff like that. Plus it had the nice queer representation, and even though there were some things that I did see coming, like I could predict some things from the ending, I still really enjoyed all the reveals that we had in the book. So definitely recommend it to you guys, and it is from 2022, so I'm sure many of you either have not heard of it or have not checked it out yet. So hopefully, you know, this is a good recommendation as well for you guys. And other good news, apart from me finishing another book for the challenges, is that they called me from the vet and baby boy is ready to be picked up. The surgery went fine, so I just have to go and pick him up. Sadly, he's still not allowed to eat. I feel so bad because he had to fast 12 hours before surgery and now he still cannot eat. Poor thing, he eats a lot because he's still young. So I'm gonna bring him home. I'm gonna grab, I think, some really nice, exquisite, expensive food so I can treat him later with it. But yeah, we're gonna go and pick him up from the vet. Hi, Pippi. Hi. How are you doing? Yeah. Good, huh? He's allowed to have some food now. Yes. So you can see baby boy is doing fine, and I also had to go get my nails done. So I decided to go with something that would fit the vibe of old school, and I was researching the interwebs, and apparently during the 80s and the 90s there was a lot of pinks and reds. So this is kind of like a mix. It's red and on top there is a layer of some metallic pink kind of thing. So I don't know, we just mixed it up so that I can represent the old school April readathon. You know, I'm committing to it. So now that I'm finally home, I'm gonna have lunch because I haven't had food since breakfast and it's already like nearly 3 p.m. so I'm gonna need some food. And then I still have to work a little bit, so we have to postpone the reading for later. But I'm excited because we are only on the 7th of the month. Today is Friday the 7th, and I have already finished 3 books, so we're doing pretty good. Good morning, guys. It's Friday, so we are a little bit under stress because I told you my parents are coming to visit for like a week, and we wanted to get like super nice chairs and a table, but we did an oopsie and we bought a table that was not big enough for the chairs. So we didn't want a huge table because the reality is we don't really use a table for eating. We normally do it in front of the TV watching a show or whatever. So we were like, you know, we don't want to get like a huge table and then not really use it. So we wanted to get like a decent sized table, and then we ordered really nice chairs. Now the problem is the chairs don't really fit under the table. So here's the situation, never mind the mess. Here's the situation. The chairs don't really like fit properly under the table. You cannot pull them in and out when you need to sit. So we're gonna have to go back to the store and exchange this one for maybe like a slightly bigger one. We don't want it too huge. We don't want it to take over the whole living room, but here's the situation. Hello, Logan is doing fine. There he is. Oh yeah, guys, I didn't tell you, we changed the name from Van Helsing to Logan because we felt it fit him better. So here's the little Wolverine, Logan. He's doing really well after the surgery. And here are the chairs. They are really nice, but you can see I cannot even pull it out from under the table because they're stuck. But the chairs are really nice. We just need a slightly bigger table. You guys, this morning is so chaotic. Apart from us having to go back to exchange the table, which we're gonna have to rent like one of those little vans or something to exchange it because obviously it doesn't fit in our car. Today we were supposed to go to a concert, which I was really excited about because it's a band from the 80s, and I was gonna be able to fulfill the challenge of singing and listening to songs, you know, from the 80s stuff and 90s That is one of my favorite bands from the time, which is Wasp. But we just received an email like today, the day of the concert, that Blakey Lawless, my boy, the singer, Logan, we just received an email that he's sick, and so the concert has been postponed, which also sucks because the concert was today, which is a Saturday, and now it has been postponed to a Tuesday. So thank you for being considerate to people that have to work. But anyways, because it's not even in this city, so we have to travel to another city for the concert, but we will deal with that. So now I have to wait for May to see the band live. This concert has been postponed since 2020 because of everything that happened, and I was like, today is finally the day. I was having such a good weekend. Yesterday, Friday night, we went to have sushi, then we went to the movies. The movie was crap, but it was okay. It's the Pope's Exorcist. I mean, I went with really low expectations, so my expectations were met. Let's be honest here. My boyfriend Jeff, he passed out exactly on the final, like, last battle against evil. He was just like snoozing there. And he woke up when everything was resolved and everybody was happy again. And he's like, what happened? And I'm like, you just missed the whole ending, but that's okay. That's how boring it was. So yeah, not the best movie, but I just keep saying that these Exorcist movies, they're so hard to be done well. It's just, for me, nothing is gonna top anyways The Exorcist, obviously, but I feel like there has to come someone, some director, give this kind of genre, like this subgenre of horror exorcism, to someone that can do it properly. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, you guys, that's how my weekend is going. So a lot of stress. But that is okay. Sometimes life just throws shit at you and you just gotta keep going, you know? And today my mission is to start 2 new books for Old School April because my parents are coming. Today is Saturday. My parents are coming on Thursday. So I gotta push that. So that we get as much done as possible. And while, oh, I forgot to tell you, the clip you just saw was me trying to recreate something that I used to eat as a kid. So when I was a kid, sometimes we would just eat bread. Normally not this type of bread, like the regular bread, and then we would put margarine on it or butter, and then we would sprinkle a little bit of like chocolate powder on it. Normally in Spain, if you grew up like me in the 80s, 90s, what you got was either Colacao or Nesquik. I don't know if these brands are available everywhere. I think Nesquik is more international, but I think Colacao is a Spanish one, so I don't think that one is really available anywhere else. I'm not sure. So those are the 2 things. You would just sprinkle a little bit on top and just eat that. Now I'm not boring adult and I only had cocoa powder that is unsweetened, so that's the one that I use, which was weird because normally you use the one that has sugar in it to make it sweeter. But that's okay. We are adults now. Normally I don't buy that kind of cocoa powder. Normally I just buy raw cocoa powder to make me like a hot chocolate or to put it on my smoothies. But it was fun to try to recreate that. That was one of the prompts, so I can scratch that off my list. So now let me tell you about the 2 books that I plan on starting this weekend. So I thought I would tackle the other book that I have that it's a bit chunkier, and that is This Dark Paradise by Wendy Haley. Beautiful, beautiful book. And this one, all I know is that it involves some family drama, and I think vampires are also here in the mix. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be like a lot of horror or if it's gonna be just more vampires having family issues. I don't know, but I'm really excited about this one. Yeah, so this one, and the other one I want to start is Christopher Pike's Spellbound. What I'm hoping from this is just a cool YA murder mystery, what I'm used to from Christopher Pike, a little bit of comfort read for me. So these are the 2 books we are gonna be starting today, and yeah, just try to make the best out of the weekend now that, you know, my Saturday has been completely ruined because we have to go exchange a table, so we're gonna spend hours doing that, and then the concert has been canceled. So yay. Hello you guys, it is already Sunday. Yesterday was crazy, so we have finally ordered a new table, but it's gonna take a little bit to get here on time. So meanwhile, we're just gonna use the one we have. And we spent most of the day going to furniture stores, and we also went to have dinner, went to the movies to watch the Mario Bros movie. And yeah, the Saturday then just flew by. At night we watched The Evil Dead because, you know, I wanted to revisit the franchise before the new movie comes out, and also to count it as a prompt for Old School April. And yeah, so today I have not been doing much apart from recording a couple of videos. I'm hoping to get some content done and uploaded before my parents come, so that you guys still have a couple of videos even though I'm gonna be busy. And I did manage to read a little bit more, so I read a little bit more of Spellbound by Christopher Pike. I'm actually nearly finished. I'm on page 142, and I think this might become one of my favorite Christopher Pike books. I am absolutely loving it so much. I am so addicted. I didn't want to put it down, but I had to stop and record a couple of videos for YouTube. But now I'm gonna go and dive into it again because, like I said, I'm loving it way too much. Let me tell you what the book is a little bit about. So Karen has been killed, and the boyfriend, of course, obviously is the first suspect for the police. Jason, the boyfriend, claims that she was attacked by some sort of creature, by a bear, and he has nothing to do with the murder. Now Jason has a new girlfriend though, and she also believes that Jason is innocent. Her name is Cindy, and we followed them as the investigation is still taking place for Karen's murder. But now other people are also turning up dead, and it also seems like maybe an animal attack. So is it all Jason? Is it really a creature running loose? What is going on? And like I said, this is so engaging. I just want to finish it, and this is becoming one of my favorite Christopher Pike. But anyways, I wanted to end the vlog here because it's Sunday and I still have a lot of things to do. And I want to edit the vlog so that I can upload it for you guys already tomorrow, Monday. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. I hope that you enjoyed me talking about some of the books that I have been reading for Old School April. And I've been loving to dive deeper again into some 80s and 90s horror. I have been watching today a couple of episodes as well of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I also watched a Goosebumps episode this morning with my breakfast. So I'm embracing going back to the 80s and 90s, and I'm having a blast. So I'm really happy that I decided to join the Readathon. I hope you enjoyed the vlog, like I said, you guys, and thank you as always so much for all your support. I hope to see you all in our next coffee time. Bye!